Hey guys, my name is Seniac and welcome back to another episode of the Foolsopolis here in City Skylines. But today, we're going to be continuing the extensions, and recently we built upon a brand new farming industry. Last episode, we kind of got the imports and exports for that area all up and running now, so we can kind of now ship the goods out, and we're actually kind of making quite a bit of cash money motor. Well, today I want to try and get the train line over that other side of the river for the farming area, all hooked up and connected to our main lines in general. And I also want to try and take a look at trying to bring a little bit of public transport over there so we can get the workers kind of commuting from the residential in the inner city to right there, which kind of feels a little bit weird with how far away it is, but we got to try and get something cool up and running anyway. And also I want to try and build a little bit of more residential in the inner city and try and get the population starting to climb towards 200,000. Now, if you guys are enjoying the series and want to see more, then please make sure you smash that like button down below. If you are new in here, then make sure you do subscribe so you are notified when the next episode does come out. But we are back right now. This is what we got done last episode. I've kind of raised the water as well last episode, which is now starting to kind of fill up the little rivers that kind of flow out, which is looking really, really good. Gotta keep an eye on them, just in case they do start causing some flooding right now. But this is where we pretty much last left off. We kind of created these two beautiful little kind of train junctions right now. Somebody said about them not being connected. They're all connected. I double checked that, which allows us now to kind of bring goods from the farming area to, at the moment, only via a ship. So we got to try and connect this network up a little bit more. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create, with the bridge going across right now, a train bridge, which will lead on to eventually connecting it up probably to this line here. Will be the way that it all kind of gets connected over right now, which it could go ahead and... Oh, no, that's the passenger line, isn't it? Ah, okay. So we've got to try and create something then to allow us to connect to the cargo line. I'm thinking about doing something a little bit funky over here, which will allow us to kind of create a little trumpet in many ways, which will go further down. But also, if I bring out two lines, I can kind of then bring the passenger line up and kind of use this main terminal and finally get something that connects all the way out. That's going to be kind of exciting, isn't it? It's long-winded, but, you know, we got to start somewhere, right? So, what we're going to do then, we're going to create and utilize first then a little train bridge going across. So, if I kind of select that, can I not do it like that? I was trying to get the kind of elevation of the height right now. So, if I bring this all the way up to about a 10, that's a 10, right? Yeah. Now, I've got to do this logically as well. So, if I kind of... first have one there and bring this up by, well, I'll bring it up to, well, I'll go there for 12. I'm going to do 2. There we go, running simultaneously. Because this will, one's going to be like a cargo line. And then one will be the passenger line. Again, it allows us to kind of have them split, so we're not having both sets of trains on one line, and if one holds up the other, then the whole network pretty much goes down. So that'll be kind of fun. We'll continue this going forward then. I don't exactly know where the passenger line will kind of run or end, but we're going to have it in nonetheless anyway. So that's where it starts to bend there. If I get it to the point here where we don't, well, we start to bend on the opposite side. And then that should be roughly about where we kind of need it. I'm going to keep it all elevated as well, because you just never know what we're going to do down below. Now, if we quickly get the connections in. So there to there. And we go full on with the connection. So as much as we can. There we go. Beautiful. And then pretty much the same again. And boom, there we go. So it all elevates round. Maybe just here then, rather than instead of doing it as a bridge, I just kind of elevate this section. So it's not being treated as a bridge going all the way across. Maybe just to here. So it doesn't look kind of as weird, right? And then we get to here and we kind of elevate it like that. So just across the water where it kind of goes into its kind of like a bridge mode, if that's what you want to call it. So leave that to there then, because also I want to bring it down, but I'm going to need to connect the highway too, because the train network is going to follow the highway. So that's very important that we do so. So if I just quickly pause then, and we're going to delete this huge section, this huge chunk of the highway right now. And we're going to clone this, which I've still yet to pull it on the Steam Workshop. I'm so foolish. You can call me a damn folio right now. But that should be about it. Now, there will be a few little teething problems with this, but we should generally kind of be okay. Now, 3-lane highway. We will get this all now connected, so you are straight to there. So it is going to be a bit funky. Oh, do you know what I should do? If I did it with the connections, like that, and then just go maximum like this. Now, it makes no sense to anybody, but you kind of get a little bit of a wiggle. And that allows us to almost have it okay, which is not going to be okay, but we just keep telling ourselves this and in the hopes that it will be okay. But it doesn't really matter too much. I'm just going to throw it in. It's like the slightest of bends, and it makes no difference from me doing a straight line or something like that. So we get it in anyway. There we go. So the whole point of that was then is to get this now all connected. So on this side, it's going to kind of be a little bit weird, because I'm not going to be able to get the smack bang perfectness of what we had, but that is pretty close to there. We'll go a bit further to a point where we're not being manipulated by that, but that kind of works out fine. I've kind of got to get this right, going pretty straight to a point where we're going to start to bend it. Now if I run this down, boom, and run this going this way, at some point it will all come together, and we'll use the connections tool for that. So we'll go here to here, and we'll go maximum on the bends. Alright, we'll go to there, that's fine. There to there. Making sure we got it all connected. That's fine. Does what it needs to do, kind of bends around, gets connected over here. We're good. So I can put it back to play mode now. I mean, we shouldn't have any issues. Maybe. I got to sort out maybe all the lane management to all that, but apart from that, we should be kind of good to go. Now this, if I run this as far up in a straight line as I can, keep going. I didn't realize we had a little bit more distance to travel. So bring that to there and literally take this all the way down to there, and then we'll kind of get to here, and then it slightly bows out, but we do it further up at that point. It's a long-winded way to travel in reality, but eventually, well, basically by implementing all this, it unlocks this whole region of the map to the ability to now work with it, because obviously highways connect over here, good access points, la-di-da-di-da. Okay, so again, go big on this. We'll go to as far as I can add it in before the bend goes nope. Which is pretty much here, but doesn't quite work like that. So I'll go to here. That works wonders. So it kind of bends around. So we're now technically all connected for the highway, and we've created now the beginning of our outer ring road. Kind of comes all the way down. That will obviously progress up, come across here, cut through there, and then connect back down. And then we have our outer ring road for the highway. We have our inner ring, we have our outer ring, and then loads of stuff's going to come off it. So you're pretty much going to be connected very easily for roads anyway. So I don't know if anybody's going to use it. I don't know just yet. But let me just sort out this real quick, because this will be an issue for lots of the junctions. I assume that they'll be okay. But I'm just going to hard code it to say, this is how these roads work. Please abide by the law. Well, I'm calling the policeman. Right, get you done. And then everything else should be okay. When it comes to this side, it's only this side that I've now just kind of implemented in. So the rest should be fine. I'm hoping so anyway. But that now allows me, like I said, it allows me to work with this train line. So I think what we'll do then is we'll kind of then select this. And we'll bring it so far down. And then we'll bring it down to Earth, as we'll call it. So down to 0 by 12. Up to 10. There we go. Straight in. So from that point there, it's all underground here. So we're okay. And bam. So it doesn't really kind of collide with anything. I might have to change a few of these little pillars to get it off the actual train track. But I'm thinking about keeping this quite down for now. That's what I'm thinking. Now, what I've got to think of as well, I'm thinking I'm going to use the right side as the passenger line. So that right side then would go all the way to here, where we then create our connection. So if I went to... Right, if I went to a bit further down. What would actually be nice is if I can run it that way a little bit. What is the bend like here? That becomes an 11 by an 11 for the train to connect down to there. Now, I'm playing a very, very dangerous game because I've also wanting to kind of 11 by 11. I mean, it's not amazing. Don't get me wrong. This is not an amazing... It's probably going to cause issues, but I'm going for more of a design aspect here. And that is not as close as I want it to be. Alright, run that to there. So that might be like 11 by 12 at this point. No, 11 by... Yeah, 11 by 12. I thought it would be. I've gone more for a design aspect to make it look nice as over a practicality because... But then again, I'm not really going to have too much train traffic, I don't think, anyway. So that is all connected, right? You got the train tracks there, and then train tracks there. It's only for the passenger line. If it becomes like a huge issue, I'll do something a bit more innovative, you know, more efficient. But it should do us justice. What I then want to do is we kind of elevate this over here. Again, I want to try something a little bit different. I want to connect to this second line, this line here, and not this one, because this one's already being predominantly used for getting the train traffic to different kind of sections. What I'm going to do is I want to get it to this one, because it kind of completely bypasses all that. If it wants to get onto that line, it will have to kind of travel all the way up and go through our little tiny kind of turning system to get it on there. But that's up to those guys if they want to do it. The ability's there. But it's made to go into this kind of side so we can kind of bypass all these stops to maybe get over to here. Or potentially, you know, skedaddle to a different kind of area altogether. So it doesn't kind of jump onto this and slows this traffic down from the get-go. Meaning, I'm going to elevate to a certain extent to, let's say, here. I'm going to quickly select the first node there and set you to the object height of U. Meaning that if I then select you to there, bam, because then I can create a quick V just here that kind of bends around and elevates and goes up over both these lines. Again, mental. Yes, I know. But again, it's something a little bit different that I want to try and play around with. So a 21. Which is not really going to... Oh, you know, it's better to me to do it this way. So that was a... That's a 25. So 22. We'll go with a 22-ish. And then if I bring this up to a 10 by 10. And again, this is going to be like a very, very industrialized area. By 20. 10 by... It says 10 by 10, but at this point it'll be like a... It'll be a 10 by 5 because we're not fully committing to the elevation just yet. And then a 10. And then we'll kind of bridge it over to there. And then we'll do go down by 10 by a 12 to elevate that completely down. So we should be able to get then, I know it's going to be a 22. That'll still work perfectly fine. I'll match it here with another 22. So we kind of go in both directions there. That merges in. That merges in. That elevates over so you wouldn't even know it's doing what it's doing. And I think we'll select from there to kind of bring that down gradually. We'll go from here to there to do the same kind of thing, or should I take it up to here? How low is that? That would work fine. It doesn't kind of cut through the wires. This is awfully close. And if I select you to go this side, so the bridge is not as high as it once was, but I think that's kind of okay. Do that to kind of almost mimic it in a way. I'm not sure how I feel about that. But either way, we're back on track. So making sure that I'm not, I'm normal size right now. I'm just going to bring this in a straight line. It probably will change directions and paths in the future. Where's the snap? But for now, this is how it's going to go. Meaning, at a certain point here, we're going to divert and change directions. So if I bring this a bit closer, so I can kind of pick up the node snapping. So it becomes a 13 by a 13 bend. And just like that, then the industrial line is connected. Well, to everywhere else, apart from down here. So it's a bit weird. It kind of goes in awkward places. But again, just imagine once it's all built up, how this is all going to tear through. It's going to look really, really good. I'm kind of like doing the bare bones layout before we go further. I'm not 100% fan of this, but I'm hoping there's not too much traffic that it will cause much of an issue. Now, this is obviously going to continue going in that direction. This here will continue to progress more forward. And then here, I'm going to then officially bring it down to a 0 by 12. Push it a bit further so we've got more room to play around with. So I'll go up by another 10. And then what we'll do, we'll go for a 12 by 12 bend. 12 by 12 bend. And that's with the hopes that this, I can do a... Ooh. Okay, we'll come down by a 5. And then, should we go for the 22? I'm liking the 22 over a 21. There we go. So connections both sides. Connections both sides. Connection both sides there as well. Right, that works out. So that line there, which is our industrial line, is now connected up to the whole of this network. What is the length here? So that's a 36, so you still get a train in there. It might cause issues, I don't know. But we're technically all connected up. Now, all this straight lineage will change the more we build up and around it. So don't worry too much about all of that. It's just the main ideas of how we get all this up and running is going to work out. Oh my goodness me, look at the death. Right, death care, crematoriums. I'm going to drop a couple of these bad boys down. These advanced ones right now. We kind of need an area where, well, then again, it's going to be very, very connected up to this anyway. So just drop a couple of these down right now just to kind of satisfy the backlog that we do have.
So it'll be interesting to see eventually then when a train actually, or cargo train actually comes down here. It's all over the place. It's like someone's dropped a bowl of spaghetti on the floor with all these train lines. But they will make sense in the long run. So get rid of you. Oh, hold on. And then we'll select there to there, boom. There to there, boom. So gradual decline. Or incline, depending on which direction you're pretty much coming from. And that gets us fully connected up in the long run. Anyone using the highway? Actually, there are people using the highway. So I would assume they're either coming, from the farm, which is important. That's really important that they're doing that. That shows you it's a quicker route for the directions that they want to go in. Interesting. So, okay. We've got some residential demand then. Let's try and increase that a little bit, or kind of spend some of that demand, I should really say. So, high density residential. Going all down here. So we get it to there. I'll fill up this little section here. Might as well cover all that little area there. Leading all the way down. And to here as well. Now, I do need to eventually do more and more zoning, don't I? I do need to squeeze more and more of it in. And by zoning, I mean like doing roads. So if I cover this then. So high density all around here. And I think at some point, we're going to start doing suburbs of low density. I feel like that's going to be very important too. So keeping it all high around here. Before, I think in the next couple of episodes, we can start building suburbs along the way. And I feel like somewhere like here would need a roundabout setting up. It's causing a huge backlog coming down. Which doesn't really work out well for us. What would happen if we stuck 2 little mini roundabouts there? I mean, that's a headache for another time, isn't it? I think it is. But I'll leave this to do what it's got to do, because with the change of these new train lines and with the extension of the highway, we'll see what comes of it, if that makes sense. Now, we're yet to see any cargo trains walking their way down. Oh, there we go. Our first 2 are on the way. Okay, where are you going? Transporting cargo to all the way over here. Wow! Okay, that's going to make some differences then, isn't it? That's really going to open up this area. And you, where are you going? Even though you've got literally nothing on board. Oh, you're going outside of the region. Again, very important. Very important. So I could run that all the way out, but I don't want to overload this too much. Not yet, anyway. Not yet, anyway. So with all this new stuff now being implemented in, this really opens us up. It really, really does. All that death care, it needs to be kind of settled. Are these, 32 hearses, 32 hearses, 32 hearses on the way. So a lot of deathmobiles are now going to be driving about. And something else that I want to kind of think about as well. Now, all I'm about to do right now is going to lead us on to future episodes. But right now, that is the only road to get in and out of this area that's not the highway. We do need other road connections. I'm thinking about bringing this further out and then down, which will connect up to something down here along with this. But then turning this whole section there into another city park. Big, open and wide, walkable paths. Because obviously you can't really do much with something with a junction just like that. Thinking about we do need a roundabout there. But you've got to be careful because you are working with as well this, so got to be a bit careful with this area. So that is 51. So if I bring it down by 40 there, that should be in 11, which I should be able to be okay going in this direction. So if I come down by a 40, actually, where do we kind of connect in there? I don't think, is that perfectly lined up? Yeah. So that's an official 50 if I'm following it off this. But then again, it's because it's got the roundabout there, isn't it? So if I try and somewhat follow a grid method. Not too much though, because it's going to completely throw me off. Can't do much there with that, so I'll create the connection here and then straight down. And like I said, we'll try and get off with different grid layouts as it all passes through. Now, where you would have a connection here, I think we'll tear through and have it just there. So that is a full 40. Do you know what? I think we'll kill off this one and have that run down. Because then you've got your equal spacings, basically. To there, and then run this all the way up. So again, this is very heavily inner city. Very heavy on the old inner city, but this is the kind of stuff that we've got to do. This is how it is in the inner city. Once we get out past this first ring road round highway, then it starts to change a little bit. We kind of get a little bit different on the go. And then once you get past this one, it really is then like the countryside, basically. That's how we're going to kind of see it. So that'll be interesting as well. So there we go. Train just there doing its thing. There's that one that pretty much had nothing on board. There's another one on the way. There's another one about to leave and get out right now. So since we've done that then, the port is not as busy because they can transport the goods. And the other little areas are working wonders. I'm really impressed. It's going to look amazing. So with that commercial demand then, now we've got pretty much all of this in. We'll run this up to there to kind of fill all that little section in. This is eventually going to be a roundabout, but I'll let it do what it has to do for now. I'll treat this section to there as commercial, just because of it's like a main connecting road through. And I'm going to leave this to be all trees along there, which I think will be pretty cool as well. And we're going to go big on the old residential front, because it's all about trying to get as much population in as we possibly can. But also, we have a metro line running down. Would we need a stop around here? Or would we use this one to be the stop? That one kind of comes up to there. Yes, that would be the stop here. Because it does connect upon that section. It will connect upon that section there for crisscrossing. Aha, there we go. There we go. So if I was to follow this all the way up, so to there, so if I come off it by an 11, which will then be a 86, is that right? Oh, yes, almost perfect. There's a little bit of funkiness involved. So if I take it from this side then, so an 11, straight down, there we go. Bit funky, but we'll roll with it. Whole purpose is then, so to come down to, what is that length? That is in the length of 28. So 28, again, like I said, the whole purpose was to kind of match this going continually up. So you're going to lose out in a little bit of the layout. But we don't mind that too much. So that will kind of... I don't know how that bend will work. But we're running along this. And then we have a connection there. So this is where all this then kind of comes into play and gets worked all together. We'll go for this one. Pull it in that direction. Or do I go for something a bit different? Do I go for that? Do we crisscross and go in different directions? I don't think so, no. We'll kind of keep it simple. So that will go there, which will connect that line up to there. And that will then go all the way there to connect to there. And then we've got that as a loop, most importantly. So then it's about using these roads to get everything all connected. So that's a 10 there. So we could definitely... Is that a 10? Yeah. Run you to there. So we can keep with that 10 mark on this side. And then do we lose out here? We do kind of lose out there. So I don't know whether to run down with it. Or maybe do like a smaller 2-lane road. It's a bit skinnier. But it doesn't look, it looks like you got the same amount of zoning, doesn't it? It kind of throws you out a little bit with that. Makes you look like you got the same amount of zoning. And that kind of works out well. Now, I won't do anything with it because we've got a lot of stuff that needs to be built upon all this new zoning that we've got in. Will take some time. So I think I need to let the game simulate for a good hour or two now. To build up its demands, get everything all added in. And then we can truly see where we're kind of missing out. But we have lost some population from this little death wave that we've got. But we have now kind of got the majority of all the kind of bodies collected and all that. I do need to start to think about building more of these little areas localized around, especially for the death care and whatnot. But we got some good plans in the work right now. We've opened up a lot of land to kind of work with, which is quite exciting. And we're going to see how this all progresses. But let me know in the comments right now, guys. I'm thinking about doing a live stream on this series, just doing one, where we can go around and build and solve a lot of the city's problems that I maybe might do off camera, or maybe spend an episode dedicated to doing it. I think doing it as a live stream will be kind of perfect because you guys can get involved with it, with me doing it as well, and give me some inspiration and some fixes that I wouldn't normally think of, which would also be a really, really big help. But for now, we're going to end it here, guys. I hope you did enjoy this episode. If you did, smash that like button down below. And until next time, I'll see you all soon. So good.